On today's video, we'll be getting into the patriotic spirit with some beautiful Dollar Tree DIYs. These crafts are quick, easy, and perfect for adding a touch of red, white, and blue to your home. I'm going to be making several wreaths in this video, and so for this first one, I'll be using this 14-inch metal wreath form from Dollar Tree. I also grabbed a couple packs of these wooden clothespins, and there's 60 clothespins in each pack. I'll be painting them to match the season's theme using my red, white, and blue Waverly chalk paints. You can also use spray paint, which is quicker. I chose chalk paint because I already had them on hand and didn't need to buy anything new. So to paint, I'm just spacing them out with a stick skewer. I'm using about 72 clothespins for this wreath, and I'll be dividing them into 3 groups. I'm starting off with crimson. I'm painting 27 clothespins this color. I'm using a small brush to apply the paint, and it goes on beautifully. I only apply about a coat on the clothespins, and it covers nicely. It's such a beautiful, deep, rich red color. Next up is the shade Ocean, and I'm using 21 for this color. It's a beautiful blue, not as dark as a navy shade, which I like, but this will dry a bit darker. You can also use regular acrylic paint. It doesn't have to be chalk paint, or again, if you want to speed things up, you can use spray paint instead, which will also seal the paint nicely. I also make sure to paint over the metal part as best as I can. So once everything is painted and completely dry, it's time to clip them on the metal wreath form. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do this. For this wreath, I'm clipping the clothespins in groups of 3, alternating between red and white. And I'm attaching them onto the 2 inner metal circles. They clip on perfectly. Each clothespins, they have these 2 round gaps or space in between that fit snugly on the inner circles, so you'll know they're secure when they snap into place. And I do pack them in there so they're all nice and tight per section, closing in the gaps as much as possible. And then I clip on the blue for the remaining quarter. You really can distribute however you want. You can add more or less blues. You can also have red, white, and blue in the groups of 3s. I tried them out in different ways and I thought they all look pretty nice. I'm going to add some wooden stars on the blues, and I thought that would finish it off nicely, and so I just paint them white. I'm using about 5 or so, but you can add more if you like. So once that's completely dry, I place them over the blue clothespins, rearranging them until I like the way it looks. And then I hot glue them in place. To hang, you can easily place it on a hook or attach some ribbon on top. If you want to add more embellishments, you can add some flowers or a bow, but I do like it the way it is. Now I wanted to quickly show you another way I thought looked just as beautiful as the first wreath. I really couldn't decide between the 2. I'm still clipping the red and the white in groups of 3, but this time, instead of them clipped on evenly side by side, I'm clipping one on the 2 inner circles and the next on the 2 middle. And I'm just repeating that pattern with red and white. Although I must admit I did miss a couple where I clipped 2 side by side. I did that a couple of times and I didn't realize it until I was all done, but I ended up leaving it. Now you will need to add a few more clothespins for each color because doing it this way kind of pushes them even closer together. I think I added about 6 more whites and maybe a couple more blues, so just have some extra ready to go. And this one is all done. Now aside from displaying this as a wreath, it also makes a beautiful centerpiece for a table. So here's another option. Just lay it flat on a table. I placed a wood round stand in the center, and then I added some baby's breath all around. And then I just added some candles on top of the wood round. Dollar Tree has these really nice patriotic themed scarves. They're just so pretty, and I'll be using the star pattern one for this project. I thought this would just be so gorgeous on a wreath, and so I'll be using this grapevine wreath. I've used this in multiple projects. This is an 18-inch from Michaels. I believe it was under $5 with a 20% off coupon, but you can get it anywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold the scarf right in half. And then I'm going to just wrap it around the wreath, making sure that middle section is wrapped on one end of the wreath. so it's the right side on this one, and the two ends are even on the other side or the left side. And then I'm just rearranging it, opening up the scarf on the right side. But you want to be careful though, because it can snag on the wreath. And on the other side, I tie a knot. I'm just kind of looping the ends around the wreath before making a knot. And then you can just double knot it so that it's secure. To embellish, I'm just going to add some white flowers and eucalyptus stems. I'm keeping this very simple and elegant. So I'm just going to take the stems and place them on either side of the knot, going on opposite directions. I'm sliding them right through the wreath, but you can also secure them with some hot glue if you like. I do make sure to leave some space in between. And then I'm just going to glue a couple white flowers right in between. Now after I do that, I fill in any areas where it's needed. I am keeping this very simple, but you can definitely fill it up with more flowers and greenery. And the simple wreath is done. I'll be using several bouquets of these red, white, and blue flowers from Dollar Tree. This green foam ring from Dollar Tree as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is snip the flowers off the stems, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch for the wire stems below. From there, it's really easy. I'm starting with the carnations, and I just start poking the flowers right through the foam, pushing them as far in as it can go. You can also add some hot glue to secure the flowers even more. I'll keep attaching the flowers, mixing up the colors until the entire surface of the foam is covered. And there's really no exact pattern to this. You really can't mess this up. It's super easy. You just want to randomly place the flowers on top and on the sides. And then after that, I'm going to fill in the sparse areas with the roses. I think the flower variations really give it some nice dimension. Now I packed the flowers in there. I think I was determined to use up what I had, and I do like the way it looks, but you know, I probably could have left a full bouquet of flowers out and it still would have looked really pretty. I wanted to add something in the center of the wreath, and so I'm going to be painting this piece of wood. It's just a paint stir stick. You can use any small scrap wood, and I'm mixing some neutral colors together, adding some water to the mixture and applying it like a stain, wiping it on and then wiping it down. I'm going to be stenciling the word America on the wood with black chalk paint. So I'm just using a little foam brush to apply the paint, carefully dabbing it on, also making sure to dab out any excess paint on the brush before applying it over the stencil. Now it's up to you. You can attach the little wood sign or leave it off. I think it looks great either way. Now just like the prior wreath, this also makes a beautiful centerpiece. I'm placing the wreath over the wooden round stand, but you really don't have to place anything underneath. I also line it with baby's breath, and then I just added candles right on top. Hey, I hope you enjoyed all these patriotic themed DIYs. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, bye!